Hello everyone! Welcome to our Basic Panty Sew Along video tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to sew these panties. If you don't have your PDF pattern yet, please check the link in the description box. The materials you will need are knit stretch fabric with elastane, a small piece of cotton fabric for the gusset. You can use an old t-shirt for this part. Knit elastic around 5 mm or a 1/4 inch wide. Lingerie picot elastic, which is an elastic with a decorative edge around 5 mm or a 1/4 inch wide. Scissors and matching thread, and of course your PDF pattern printed. If you have any question about printing, please check the printing video tutorial in the description box. So let's get started. First, lay down the pattern pieces. Use the numbers on each page as a guide. Fold or cut the margins and stick together each pattern piece as a puzzle. Now cut the pattern pieces. You can use the suggested sewing allowances or you can use your own. Now let's cut the fabric. First, test your fabric stretch. The greatest stretch must be in the horizontal way. Then, fold the fabric in half and place your pattern in the center fold. Pin the pattern to the fabric. Cut the pattern pieces. Check you cut the gusset in the correct direction. This one goes in a different way, so be careful. Use the line of greatest stretch as a guide. Repeat the same in your cotton fabric. Again, be careful of the way the fabric stretches. Unpin the pieces and let's start sewing. For this part, we will use either an overlock stitch or a zigzag stitch. If you have a serger, it's great, but it's not a must. The width of the stitch should be 5 and length around 3 or 4. First, lay down the pattern pieces as shown in the video. Sew the pattern pieces together, right sides of the fabric facing each other. Use 1 or 2 pins to make it easier. Repeat the process for the other piece. Now, the tricky part. Turn the garment over and roll the edges towards the center. Place the cotton lining over it and sew over the edges. Pin the fabric in place to make it easier. Be careful of sewing only the edges and not the fabric in between. Repeat the process on the other end. Again, be careful of sewing the edges only. Next, turn it inside out and roll in the garment. Let's sew the sides now. Pin the fabric before sewing. It's time to attach the elastic. First, we will use the embedded elastic. It's a plain lingerie elastic 5 mm, a 1/4 inch wide. If your machine has a free arm, use it, it will make sewing much easier. Now, attach the elastic to the wrong side of the fabric for the legs. Here, it's important to pull the elastic a little bit to create tension, but not too much. A good tension is to have very small to no creases. Try to keep the tension even all the time so both legs look the same. Now, repeat the process on the other leg. This part is important, so don't rush through it, take your time. Now we will do a cover stitch. Fold the elastic down as shown in the video and sew over it with a zigzag stitch. Recommended settings are width of 3.5 and length of 3. Don't pull the elastic while you sew. Now it's time for the waistband elastic. In this case, we will use an elastic that has a decorative edge to it, but this is completely up to your taste. To attach this elastic, we will work on the right side of the fabric. Make sure that your decorative edge is facing the center of the garment. Use an overlock or zigzag stitch as before, pulling the elastic just a little to create tension. Try to keep it even. Sew all the waistline. Now, repeat the process of folding it over and sew a cover zigzag stitch. Recommended settings are width of 3.5 and length of 3. And that's it. You've finished your project. Congratulations! If you have any question, please write it down in the comments and we will help you. Also, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any pattern release. Thanks for choosing us and see you next time!